a period of what could be called as great layoffs, at least in the US tech companies. They are looking at reducing workforce, whether it is Meta, Apple, Facebook, or even Alphabet, which is Google. Other companies are looking at cost-benefit analysis. Now, it's that time of the year when campus placements are huge. Record placements have happened this year. So big tech is not hiring, and if there is a slowdown, and if companies are looking at cost-cutting measures, at least in developed markets, then why is there so much of vibrancy? And if this is vibrancy, is this specific to specific colleges, or this is the way how things would move when it comes to 2023, that after this big massive layoff, we could be in for a normalization of hiring trends? How should we analyze that? Rituparna Chakraborty, co-founder and executive vice president with TeamLease, joins us now. Good morning, thank you for joining us. The headline is that none of the tech companies are hiring, they are sacking, they're frozen hiring, they are not visiting campuses. But the data which has come from the prestigious institutes, they are telling us a completely different story. So why is there a mismatch?
I don't think, Vikram, there is a big mismatch. Let me just to put things in perspective. Yes, there are some shakeups that organizations are doing based on how they view their future roadmap. There are redundancies that are being seen, but side by side, the fact that organizations are looking for high quality talent and people who bring specific skill sets essentially clearly sends out this message and a signal that it's not that the long-term outlook is dim. As a matter of fact, the long-term outlook, whenever organizations go to campuses and pick up, it's a common understanding that means the overall long-term outlook still remains bright. However, organizations are focused more on in terms of productivity, efficiency, skill sets, rather than creating large, massive employment bases within the organization. So clearly there is a valuation that is being extra, or a premium that is organizations are willing to pay for higher skill set and people who have the ability to learn or bringing in the new skill sets which are probably more relevant to the organization. So I think it also means that everyone who is currently engaged in the workforce, wherever they are, it's pretty much clear that one needs to constantly be focusing on self-improvement, learning, and upskilling, because organizations will be having a very clinical approach now in terms of how the future would be, and essentially this is how you're gaining muscles. Profitability, productivity, growth, all of them needs to go hand in hand. And for that, hard choices would be made. Side by side, organizations would continue to invest in high skill sets, high quality skill sets. And that's the reason, that's what's essentially happening. So I feel that this also is something that has happened cyclically. Every 10 years, we see this process, especially in technical job roles. It happens globally that there will be a massive shake off and a massive trend of layoffs and redundancies. And again, there is a bounce back in terms of looking at the future with a fresh approach. So I think that's what is happening, and that's what we are witnessing.
Okay, I just want to mark news, breaking news, I would say. US Sun Pharma Halol unit has come under US import alert. Very simple, import alert means you can't export from there. I think Halol got approved, and Sun Pharma stock reacted to that. It's like a couple of quarters ago, and now it's come back under import alert. More details, US FDA has excluded 14 products from its import alert subject to certain conditions. But the fact that Halol has come back under import alert, it is bad news for Sun Pharma. It's bad news for the industry. Sun Pharma is the best in the breed. If they have gone through an import alert approval, and then an import alert comes back, 14 compounds or 14 products are not there, they must be important for the US generic market. But the import alert by and large means that they'll have to relook at the procedures. The stock will react. It has already reacted, and outperforming stock is coming under pressure. But back to what we're discussing. Abhishek Kumar, Head of Center Career Development with IIT Guwahati, is also ready. Abhishek, the data which has been shared by your institute and by other IITs, they are indicating that this year there is a 25% surge in demand and the salary packages are at a record high. Broadly, could you tell us why, which are the companies which are hiring, and the salaries which have been offered, are they coming, or the offers, are they coming from the traditional big hiring companies like BCG, McKinsey, Google, Facebook, or this time the names are different?
Okay, so there are two parts of the question. First one, if you see in terms of number of packages, definitely there's a significant increase in terms of number of packages which we have received. What we have seen traditionally is like the number of firms which are showing interest in terms of recruiting, those have significantly increased. So one side, when we see the roles which they were participating in couple of years, that has shown some decline, but the number of firms which are showing interest in terms of coming for the placement and in terms of the number of profiles which they are showing interest, that has significantly increased.
Question, Abhishek, in terms of the profile of jobs, in terms of companies who visited the campus, is there any kind of an indication that when we are looking at a layoff by big tech companies in US, by big US consultings in US, have they this year given campus hiring a skip?
See, of course, there is a effect in terms of, if you see, in terms of work permits, particularly in United States and the current situation which is going on in different parts of Europe, that has definitely has shown some effect, but it's not showing an effect in terms of layoff. But what I'm trying to say is demands depending upon, see, now we are coming out of the COVID situation. So definitely the demands which were on hold for last couple of years, definitely those have now opened up, and as a result of which companies are hiring. But considering the there's no clarity in terms of the situation which is going on abroad, so definitely those will have effect whenever there is number of placements for overseas.
Morning. Just taking a look at the kind of pay packages as well, Rituparna. For instance, IIT Kharagpur, 2.68 crores on day one received. You've got the likes of Guwahati as well, seeing a highest pay package at 1.2 crores. I just want to understand what the pay package mix is this time around or this year versus what we've seen in the past.
They all sound very attractive for sure, but I think the God is in details. I think what we are seeing is that organizations are looking at a mix emerging in the compensation packages. From what I have heard and read, that organizations are trying to kind of create a much more attractive variabilized compensation structure as well, while the compensations could be consolidatedly looking at certain amount. But from what I understand, that there are aspects aligned in terms of very attractive incentives. There are hybrid working, certain compensations related to that. There are some retention bonus, which essentially means that organizations are also kind of keeping in mind that we live in a time when there are going to be certain amount of uncertainties, certain work conditions have completely changed over the last 3 years, and hence how can talent be incentivized in the right manner, yet not increase their fixed costs at their end. So it's interesting times to see. It's also very encouraging. However, the big packet, the 2.68 crores, 1+ crores, these are usually the outliers and the exceptions. But what's more interesting is that the median salary seems to have gone up. And like my co-panelist has been alluding to the fact that some of it could be on account of the fact that there seems to be more clarity in terms of the way forward, given probably the pandemic is behind us. And these are investments that organizations are keen to make. So it's good times, honestly, for those who are in the tech sectors, or students and kids who are in the tech sector. So I guess it's overall, it's very encouraging. And I've always believed that whenever campus hiring takes off and it seems encouraging, that means that people are betting more aggressively into the future. But I think what I'll be very keen to understand is not what happens in some of these elite professional colleges. It's very important to understand what happens in the larger cross-section of India and whether those youth are benefiting for some of these interesting packages is what something that I would be keenly watching out for. I haven't
Rituparna, great to have you on the show. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. And Dr. Abhishek Kumar, good speaking with you as well. We'll perhaps plan a longer discussion. This is not a subject you can cover in 5 to 10 minutes. But good gathering all your perspective on this.